Let's start this month's discussion on the parable of the Good Samaritan by thinking about what you would do if you encountered a homeless person on the street. Would you react and discuss? Would you be afraid or embarrassed in this situation? Would your first impulse be to form a connection with the person? I think many of us have the same answer, but how does that compare to what the Good Samaritan does in the 10th chapter of Luke? Let's look into the story. A lawyer wants to test Jesus, so he asks, "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus replies by asking him, "What is written in the law? What is your reading of it?" The lawyer, who is an expert in the field, replies with a verse from Deuteronomy. "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength." He also adds a verse from Leviticus. "You shall love your neighbor as yourself." Jesus commends him on his answer, replying, "Do this and you will live." But the lawyer, either justifying himself or trying to trick Jesus, asks a further question. "And who is my neighbor?" Who is your neighbor? Please pause the video now and make a list for yourself, then read the parable in Luke 10:30 through 37 together. Jesus tells us to love our neighbor. Think about the people on your list in light of that. Can you imagine having a relationship with each one of them? Our chief apostle pointed out that you can't serve God if you don't love your neighbor. The love for God is inseparably linked with the love for our neighbor. But who is our neighbor? It's the one who is sick, who is in prison, and the stranger who is so different, whose culture is different, who has a different faith, a different nature, and who has a different opinion from your own. They are your neighbor. They are the people we are called to love. You cannot choose your neighbors. God puts them in your life. Who is my neighbor is a central question in the church and in congregations today. It is the question you've probably heard not only in church, but in conversations about immigration policy, race, special needs, and sexual identity. It is a question that ultimately relates to the way we treat those on the outskirts of society, such as the homeless or the poor. The answer to "who is my neighbor" is easy: the one in need. What a simple answer. It changes the whole worldview of the lawyer. Mercy does not ask first about color or sexual identity or economic status or political party. Mercy is not concerned with purity or piety. Mercy is what comes from God to the community and each of us. It is a gift given. You'll remember the lawyer had asked the question how to inherit eternal life. There was nothing the lawyer could do to inherit or earn eternal life, and neither can we. It is not possible. It only comes by the grace from God. If you have the ability to help someone, then you have the responsibility to be their neighbor, the way the Good Samaritan was. We'll talk more about that responsibility and what it entails next time. For now, please discuss the questions found in this section of your participant guide. Thank you.